because I want to share a practical example. And this will show up in the Whiteboard Wednesday version of the video. So we laid out the different components: OTE, base, variable, quota, cost of sale targets. Now, let's actually build a scenario out where we're working on an account executive role. We're going to keep things simple. Account executive role. We're going to have a 50-50 split between base and variable. So their OTE, number one, their OTE is 150K. We have a 50-50 split on their OTE. 75K base, 75K variable. Their quota is 600K. Quota is 600K. And the cost of sale that we're going to want to be in relative to the entire organization, actually for this specific role, let's say that it's going to be plus or minus 25%. We'll work through it. And actually I did some of the math over here because the first time I went and started doing this, I got lost in a little bit of my math. But let's say our cost of sale target is around 25%. That's specifically for the AE type role, okay? That's specifically for the AE type role. The 150 fits in that, so we're good there. 150 is 20% of, or 25% of 600K, so we're good there. So that checks, check. We're good on the quota, check. We know what our OTE is, not FOTE. I forget who I heard. I think Amy Bolas is one of the first people who I heard talk about FOTE. I actually had a FOTE, the first comp plan I got as a sales rep, which was absolutely phenomenal. And Mike, thank you for that. When we get into base and variable, we've got 75K that we need to split out, compensate on. We need to generate 75K in variable commission on that quota of 600K. So how do we turn 75K into 600K? Well, one way that we could do it is we could just pay a flat 12.5% across the board. I do not recommend that. I don't think that makes any sense. And here's the reason why. And actually my numbers might be off a little bit, but somebody in the YouTube universe can correct me here. But if we pay a flat 12.5%, there's really no incentive for that next dollar. So how do we modify that? How do we create tiers, structures of tiers? And what I like to do is break those tiers into 3 different components. I'm a big rule of 3 guy. So my first tier is going to be the first 50% of money. So that's the 300K. My next tier is going to be the next 25% of money. That's going to be the 150K. And then my next tier is going to be the next 25%, my next 150K. So what I can do is I can figure out how much variable do I pay at each of those tiers. And the first tier is going to be a bit smaller. So in this instance, let's use 11%. 11% paid out on 300,000 is going to be 33K. In the second tier, let's use 13%. We'll bump it up 2%. You earn a little bit more money on everything over 300K. So we're going to go there. The number that I came up earlier with was 19.5K. And then the third number that we're going to put out there, we're going to go ahead and take that up to 15%. So at 15%, we're now paying out 22.5 on that last 150K that's generated. So first 300K that's generated, sales rep's going to make 33 grand. Second 150K that they generate, they're going to make 19.5K. Next 25%, next 150K that they generate, they're going to make 22.5K. Okay. We add that up, that equals 75K. Check. So we've designed a plan that will pay out the variable at 100%. We're going to be within our 150K target. Now the next question is, what happens after 600K? This is where things get exciting. And this is where you want reps who are really hungry to go out there and solve for customer problems and optimize for generating revenue and really work with organizations who are the right fit, where we're going to have faster, smoother sales cycles, more predictable sales cycles, and they're going to blow through their number. And the reason you want them to blow through your number is because all of the math that we did on operating the business is based on hitting plan. When they exceed plan, you should incentivize them. You should you should reward them for doing an amazing job. And there are some studies out there that say that what is it, 23% of sales reps out there are making quota. I guess if I said 23.2%, it would sound more real. I think I saw something on Twitter today where somebody said 23%. But there's some the key challenges. We've made quotas really high. We have people who aren't attaining those, and then we have leaders who are getting fired. So lots of challenges. Right now, we're focusing on simplifying the comp plan. So we've hit on all of our numbers here. The next one, what I like to do is really bump up that last tier, that thing after 100%, those accelerators. This is the opportunity where a rep really gets a chance to earn. And I would go 20%. The reason I go 20% is 20% is still in line with our target of 25%. It operates within the spectrum of risk that we want to operate as a business. So our CFO is going to be really happy about this. We're only paying it on significant growth inside the business. And now every dollar that this rep generates, they're getting paid 20 cents on the dollar. So they are not going to hold on to deals toward the end of the year and put themselves in a position where they start the next year really strong. I'm one of those reps who had a lot of roller coaster years. I'd have years where everything would be great. And then I'd have a year where I came in at 80% of the number or 70% of the number. I lived to have another, I lived another day inside those roles. But I did really well when I was able to optimize for the comp plan after blowing through those targets and getting into those situations where we could go on a much bigger trip. We could, invest in something inside the house. We could do a couple of things that we were waiting to do. So I hope you got this. I hope this was helpful. This is in 16 minutes and 59 seconds, 17 minutes. I have given you what I know of and how I think when it comes to building comp plans. I actually have a download that you can go to where I lay all of this out in a Google Sheet. And if you want that, just send me a direct message wherever you're seeing this. It could be either via LinkedIn or Twitter, or find me in a number of the ways that you can find me. And the best way to go and find me is at findmycatalyst.com. Thank you.